Friday, I don't want to say I was stunned by this. I was surprised by this. Obviously, entering the offseason, the biggest story for the Cowboys, were they going to approach Dez Bryant about taking a pay cut? And then we wake up Friday morning to hear that the Cowboys are planning on releasing Dez Bryant. Of course, that happened on Friday. Dave, I'll start with you here. You hear Dez Bryant gets released. What's your immediate reaction?
I mean, I was taken back by it. I figured they were going to keep him for one more year and then cut him after this season. Especially after you see a guy like Sammy Watkins getting $16.5 million. I mean, Dez was costing less than that, not by much, but he was costing less than that.
I thought that was his cap hit this year. I thought that was his cap hit was 16.5.
I think it was
if Dallas kept him.
I think it was a little less than that. I think it was like 15.8, 15.5, something like that. It was close.
Even if it was even, I still would have taken him over Sammy Watkins going into this year. And, like I said, I was taken back by it. Now that I've had a little time to digest it and think about it, honestly, I feel more for Dez. I think it's kind of messed up that, you're going to cut a guy after free agency's fully happened, and teams have made teams are now working on their draft boards to fill the holes that they didn't fill during free agency. They've spent money. I really feel like the Cowboys kind of gave him the shaft on that one, and that one really kind of pissed me off. I feel for him. I hope he signs with an NFC East team. I hope he shits on Dallas, and I hope he actually has himself one hell of a great season.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. Before I turn it to Eric here, I do want to say I was surprised by this. Like I said, I think it was a bit of an overreaction here. I don't know if it's the Dez Bryant personality rubbing the coaching staff the wrong way. I mean, I think we can all see that if that's a reason. But I'll tell you this. They lose Bryce Butler. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals. The only real receivers you sign in the offseason are Allen Hurns and this Deontay Robinson guy. Neither of them are number one type wide receivers. All you have is Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley. Beasley's a good wide receiver. He's not a great wide receiver by any stretch. He's more of a possession wide receiver. Terrence Williams isn't a great wide receiver. So to do this and not have a replacement for him, that's a bad idea, any stretch. Now, Eric, I'm going to go to you here because David brought it up. I know I saw the article earlier today. Dez does want you to stay in the NFC East. What is your reaction on this, and what do you think about the Giants maybe taking a flyer on him?
It makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to just vomit everywhere. The thought of Odell Beckham and Dez Bryant across from each other gives me such a headache that it induces vomit.
Oh,
because you cannot make either of them happy at the same time. They're both going to have massive egos, and we don't need a receiver. If anything, we need offensive line, and we need a running back.
Yeah.
We don't need Dez Bryant. We do not need to spend money on Dez Bryant. I don't care if he comes at a discount for us because he's pissed off at the Cowboys. I do not want Dez Bryant. Have fun in Philly. They might use you. They might put you opposite Alshon Jeffrey. Maybe you and him can coincide. I don't know. But him and Odell Beckham, I cannot see how that could possibly work without just the entire locker room imploding.
Yeah,
on a first-year coach, on a first-year GM, no thank you. And the end of Eli's career, that's how you're going to send him out with a freaking headache? Get out of here. No. I don't even want to think about that. The Redskins can go ahead and overpay for him. Alex Smith's got to throw somebody. Send him there. I don't care where he goes, just not to the Giants. I'm going to think of a place because, like I said, I placed Jordy Nelson right. I'm still thinking for Dez. Dez, I don't know. Thinking. I'll get back to you guys on an answer on that one, but it's not going to be New York. I can tell you that.
All right, Nostradamus. Let me say this, and then Dave, I'll let you throw something in here. You bring up Dez and Odell eating the locker room alive. I wonder if they would go at each other, or because they're very similar. I wonder if they would team up and destroy the locker room, but they would be on the same page. and then because the locker rooms get destroyed one way or another with the two of them. I don't think there's any way that locker room is safe with the two of them. And Eric, I agree with you. I do think him going to the Giants would be a disaster. It might be great on the field. In a locker room, it would be an unmitigated disaster. But I wonder if they'd be on the same page for it. Eric, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, look, the two of them in the same locker room would definitely be dangerous. But like your cousin David said, signing him just to keep him away from Philly, because I think if they added him, that would be really scary. But bottom line is, to me, if it's an NFC East team, when it comes down to money, Washington's his best bet. When it comes down to a chance to maybe win a Super Bowl, Philly would be his best bet. When it comes down to taking over a locker room, like Eric so eloquently put it, the Giants would be his best bet. But I think there's a lot of teams I think he could, work well on. I mean, you put him in Green Bay to replace Jordy. I mean, but I don't think
you could put him with Deshaun Watson opposite maybe DeAndre Hopkins if he wants to stay in Texas.
That'd be pretty good.
You could, I mean, there's some potential spots for Dez. I mean, listen, I don't know. Marcus Mariota needs somebody to throw to, doesn't he? Eventually, doesn't he have to get like somebody who's pretty good other than Delaney Walker?
Other than tight end?
Yeah, I mean, but listen, he's consistent though. That guy.
Oh yeah.
He's a good football player.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take Delaney Walker in a second on my football team. But I'm just saying, Marcus Mariota needs a number one to go to, and Dez can give him that for another 2 or 3 years at least. I wouldn't give Dez a long term or anything past 3, but for 3 years and maybe 15 a year. I don't know. There's teams out there that'll take chances on him. Never know what they do up there in Seattle. They may call him in. Who knows? They were almost going to call in Colin Kaepernick, but then I don't know. He said he was going to kneel or something at the gate, and he said no, and he blew that chance too. Yeah, I don't know. He could end up in He could end up with Jimmy Garoppolo out there in San Fran if they really want to get nutty. Who knows? There's a few landing spots.
I don't even want to think. I mean, listen, I will always hate the 49ers because of the Cowboys 49ers feud in the 90s. I like Garoppolo. I like what they're doing over there. Don't let Dez Bryant go to goddamn 49ers. I don't want that. Go to Tennessee. How about Dez Bryant on New England? How about that? Let him go to the Patriots.
I don't think he has the temperament for Bill Belichick. He's not that late in his career yet. Like, Randy Moss was real late in his career when he went there. He was at the point in his career where he hadn't won a championship. He hadn't done other things. Again, it depends. Is Dez trying to get his money? Is he trying to get 15, 16 a year? Or is he going to take a pay cut and go to New England? I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's got the mindset for that yet.
I don't think anybody gives him $15 million right now. He's not having the production he had 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, we talked a couple months ago.
No, somebody's going to pay him, though. Someone's going to overpay him. Somebody's got the salary cap room, and they're going to have to give it to somebody, and they're going to say, why not bring in Dez? Listen, he hasn't completely fallen off the cliff.
No,
he's way more injury prone now, but he hasn't fallen off the cliff.
Go ahead, Dave.
The offense that they run in Dallas is not a throw-happy offense. You put him with a Drew Brees, an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady. You put him with a quarterback and an offense that wants to throw the ball, he's going to put up numbers. I mean, that offense is for short dink and dunk passes, and Dez just drops most of those. He's a 50-50 ball guy. Like, that's his game. Throw it up and let me go get it, and I got you. Like, that's his game. So they don't play that type of offense in Dallas. That's what's affected his numbers. When he had Romo, he put up numbers, and I guarantee I would put money on it if you put him with any of the top-tier quarterbacks, or I'll take a guy in the top 13 that he will put numbers up.
Yeah.
What if we took Dez Bryant and put him on a NFC adjacent team? Meaning, what if Tom Coughlin decided we could use him with the Jaguars as somebody for Blake Bortles to get the ball to? Because didn't they lose Hearns? Didn't they lose a couple guys this offseason?
Yeah, they lost.
And you pair him.
They lost Hearns and Robinson. Robinson went to the Bears.
So that's what I'm saying is you replace that with Dez, and now you got Fournette and Dez. That could work for a year or two until you try and draft some receivers and get some talent, young talent in that way to opposite Dez. But he could be a good guy. Throw him there with Bortles. I could see maybe a Coughlin making a move like that.
Here's the question I have to that. Coughlin already dealt with Odell Beckham. We've already said they're both very similar. Does he really want to go through that again with Dez Bryant? That's my question. I don't think he
Well, Dez is more of a mature Odell Beckham at this point. Like, he's been around the game long enough. He's got worked out some of the kinks. I think him and Coughlin can work it out.
Yeah.
And especially if he's going to be the number one there, he's going to get the ball enough. He's going to be Bortles, probably top target, if not, top 2 target. And I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Right.
I don't know. That team's intriguing to me the more I think about it, because what else would help put them over the edge? They weren't far off last year. Their defense really played well. They were a playoff team that scared some people. At the end of the season, they could make that move. If they made that move, I think that would improve them. I think that would be a smart move.